Vietnam's climate is as diverse and rich as its landscapes, offering a unique experience depending on where you travel. Due to the country's geographical shape and varied topography, Vietnam experiences distinct climatic differences from north to south, from the coastal lowlands to the mountainous regions. This diversity shapes the daily lives of the Vietnamese people, from how they cultivate crops to their seasonal activities, festivals, and even local customs. One of the most striking aspects of Vietnam's climate is the influence of monsoon winds. The country is divided into two major seasons, the dry season and the rainy season. The dry season, which typically extends from November to April, brings cooler, drier air as the monsoon winds blow from the northeast, particularly affecting northern and central Vietnam. These winds pick up moisture as they pass over the Gulf of Tonkin, contributing to the overall coolness of the season, especially in the northern regions. Climate in the north. In northern Vietnam, including the capital city of Hanoi and the surrounding Red River Delta, the climate is more temperate. Here, the year is marked by 4 distinct seasons: a relatively cool and dry winter, a hot and humid summer, and mild spring and autumn transitions. Temperatures in the winter can drop to as low as 15 degrees Celsius (59 degrees Fahrenheit), and in the mountainous northern areas, such as Sapa, temperatures can occasionally plunge to 3 degrees Celsius (37 degrees Fahrenheit) in the coldest months of December and January. Snowfall, while rare, has been recorded in the highest peaks near the Chinese border, making the northern mountains a surprising winter wonderland in a predominantly tropical country. During summer, temperatures in the north can rise dramatically, reaching as high as 37 degrees Celsius (99 degrees Fahrenheit) in July and August. These months also bring heavy rainfall due to the summer monsoon, which sweeps in from the southwest, bringing moisture-laden air from the Indian Ocean. This period often leads to flooding in the lower regions, including Hanoi, especially in areas where drainage systems may be underdeveloped. Climate in the south. In contrast, southern Vietnam, which includes Ho Chi Minh City and the fertile Mekong Delta, experiences a more tropical climate, with less temperature variation throughout the year. The region is characterized by 2 main seasons: the wet season, May to October, and the dry season, November to April. The temperatures in the south tend to remain consistently warm, ranging from 21 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, year-round. The wet season in southern Vietnam coincides with the southwest monsoon, which brings heavy, intense rainfall. The downpours can be sudden and short-lived but are frequent and sometimes result in flooding, particularly in the delta where the land is low-lying. Despite the frequent rains, the South's climate is generally less extreme than the North's, with little variation in day-to-day temperatures. For visitors, this creates a warm, tropical environment that feels inviting year-round. The Central Region. Vietnam's Central Region, which includes cities like Da Nang and Hoi An, is a fascinating blend of northern and southern climate characteristics. It experiences a distinct weather pattern, with the coastal areas subject to both the northeast and southwest monsoons. The dry season here runs from January to August, while the rainy season, typically from September to December, can bring frequent and heavy rains, often in the form of tropical storms or even typhoons. The Central Region, with its long and narrow shape sandwiched between mountains and the sea, is particularly vulnerable to these storms, making it one of the most weather-exposed parts of the country. The temperature in this region varies but is generally hot and humid, particularly in the summer. However, cooler winds from the north in the winter can create a slightly more temperate feel compared to the balmy south. This unique climate makes central Vietnam home to both lush rainforests and dry, sunny beaches, offering diverse experiences for travelers and residents alike. Monsoon seasons and their impact. The monsoon seasons significantly shape Vietnam's climate and have a profound impact on agriculture, infrastructure, and daily life. The rains that accompany the summer monsoons are crucial for the country's rice production, especially in the Red River and Mekong deltas, where rice paddies thrive on the seasonal influx of water. However, these same rains can also lead to flooding, landslides in mountainous areas, and infrastructural challenges in cities where drainage systems are overwhelmed. Urban areas like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are particularly prone to flooding during the rainy season, creating challenges for city planning and development. Vietnam also faces the threat of typhoons, which typically strike between July and November. These powerful storms, often forming over the South China Sea, can bring strong winds and heavy rainfall, damaging coastal communities and farmlands. The government has invested heavily in disaster preparedness and response systems, yet the unpredictable nature of these storms continues to pose risks, especially to Vietnam's rural and coastal populations. Climate change and its impacts. One of the most pressing challenges Vietnam faces today is climate change. Rising global temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and sea level rise are all having an increasingly noticeable impact on the country's climate. Vietnam is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change, with an estimated 55% of its population living in low-elevation coastal zones, including the Mekong Delta, where even small increases in sea levels can have devastating consequences. Coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion into farmlands, and more frequent extreme weather events are just some of the issues Vietnam must grapple with. The government, in collaboration with international partners, has been working to address these concerns through initiatives such as improved flood control systems, sustainable agricultural practices, and community-based disaster preparedness programs. However, the challenges are immense, particularly for the many rural communities whose livelihoods depend directly on the land and sea. Conclusion: Vietnam's climate is as varied and dynamic as its landscapes and people. From the cool, misty mountains of the north to the tropical warmth of the southern plains, the country offers a wide range of weather experiences shaped by its geography and monsoon patterns. While these climatic differences create challenges, such as seasonal flooding, typhoons, and the looming threat of climate change, they also contribute to the richness of Vietnam's agricultural productivity and cultural diversity. Understanding the climate of Vietnam offers deeper insights into the resilience of its people, their traditions, and their harmonious relationship with the land they call home. For travelers and locals alike, the climate provides both beauty and challenges, shaping life in this fascinating Southeast Asian nation.